Senior European diplomats spent time in the American capital this week working to convince Congress and the State Department that the U.S. should not try to alter the nuclear deal with Iran. Meanwhile, at the White House, President Trump has fully endorsed a Saudi-led strategy to oppose Iran at every turn, supporting Riyadh's war in Yemen and its isolation of Qatar for that country's ties with Iran. But what has been the effect of Trump's strategy in Iran? The New York Times' Thomas Edbring joins us with some startling reporting. Thomas, pleasure to have you on. You talked to people in Iran to try to understand what the mood is like and describe what you found.
Well, Fareed, thanks for having me. I've been reporting from Iran for the last 16 years, and in that period, Iran and Iranians have always been cynical about their leaders, if you will. A lot of people will remember the Green Revolution here in 2009, when millions of people took to the streets, and this has left their mark on Iranians. But this has all changed in the last months, and this has particularly changed because of President Trump and also because of the Saudi Crown Prince and his moves against Iran. Iranians are feeling increasingly nationalistic. They are suddenly viewing the hardliners that they saw as a destabilizing force for a long time, almost as protectors of the country. Then the other thing what is happening is, of course, President Trump's remarks about the nuclear agreement. A lot of middle-class Iranians have supported the United States, have supported Iran in making this nuclear compromise because they want what all people across the world want: peace, stability, and prosperity. Now they see President Trump talking about canceling this agreement, and they listen to their hardliners, and their hardliners say, "We've always told you, America cannot be trusted." And a lot of people are now saying, maybe these hardliners are right.
Do you, when you look at this scenario, do you think that there is a danger of some kind of hot war between Iran and Saudi Arabia? Can this all spiral out of control, or are the Iranians being fairly cautious?
Well, the Iranian leaders have been really cautious. You might have noticed that while there have been missile tests from North Korea, in Iran in the recent months there hasn't been a single missile test. So it's clearly decisions have been taken not to put more fuel on the fire. At the same time, the Iranians are seeing the Saudis spending a lot of money towards lobby groups in the United States, working on media, making reforms back home even, in order to also improve their image abroad, if you will, and also make Iran look bad in some cases. So there is a growing worry that there might be an escalation with the Saudis. At the same time, a lot of people are saying, well, the Saudis, yes, they buy a lot of American weapons, but they haven't been able to achieve very much with those weapons in Yemen. So people aren't very impressed with the Saudi military machine. But at the same time, this could lead to more sanctions, especially if the United States and Saudi continue to grow more closer to each other. And more sanctions will, of course, mean more economic problems for Iran and more problems for Iran's leaders.
Thomas, how does the Iranian media, and in your conversations with Iranians, how do they respond to Donald Trump?
Well, overall, many people view President Trump as an unstable person, someone who is out there to destabilize the United States, but also as someone who is potentially very dangerous because he is very erratic. And that is another characteristic that differs the current US president from Iran's leaders, the way Iranians view it, because for a long time, Iran was the unpredictable country in the region. Now, Iranians at least feel as if the United States is the unpredictable country. And you never know what an unpredictable country and an unpredictable leader might do. So they make jokes of Donald Trump, as you will see in many places, also in the United States. But at the same time, they are afraid of what he can do.
Thomas Edbring, pleasure to have you on as always.
Thanks, Fareed.
Up next, from ending protections for dreamers to this week's retweets of virulently anti-Muslim videos, Donald Trump is clearly trying to make Muslims and Mexicans uncomfortable. But he's making others quite nervous as well. A fascinating human story up next.